Austin's over there dancing away. Good morning and welcome to AN Live. And I've got Alan with me today.
Yes, Cam overslept a little bit, so he said he's just, so I'm kind of filling in for him a little bit.
Okay, great. Very, very good. This morning we have a 1-year anniversary already. I am totally,
Grocery Outlet.
Totally shocked already that it's been 1 year.
Grocery Outlet's going to be doing their 1-year anniversary celebration on April 6th.
Yeah.
They're doing giveaways. There's going to be a whole bunch of cool stuff going on for it.
It's going to be a lot of fun, so you've got to go by there because they've got some big prizes and stuff, and you got to enter to win. So you've got to get by there and enter and go in and shop and see what's going on. And Alan, you're a big Grocery Outlet guy, and like you said, they rotate things.
Yes, inventory rotates on a fairly regular basis, but when you can get better deals there than any place I've been to.
Yeah,
especially if they've got what you're looking for. It's definitely my go-to place when I need to go and do some grocery shopping.
That's great. It's Easter week, so we want to remind everybody that the kids will be out of school.
Yes.
So watch for them, please, because they're going to be all excited and all hyper and like
Austin is right now.
Like Austin is having fun right now,
you should have seen Austin during the author show after, what was it, 2 monsters or something. You're just bouncing off the walls at 7 p.m.
Oh, that's great. It's just what we need today. Anyway, we have a really, really great show today. Alan, you and I are going to be talking about video game ratings
and a few of my favorites.
And a few of your favorites.
I talked to Sue about it yesterday, and with games kind of getting a little bit more attention, I think it's important to kind of explain to people what the video game rating system is and a good way to compare it to something everyone knows.
Absolutely. And then Dr. Leon Rhoda is here, and we're going to talk about diabetes and oral health, which is very, very important because what a lot of people don't understand is that your oral health can affect your heart and diabetes and many other diseases and medical disabilities out there. So oral health is very, very important. Yes. And then Julie's here.
Yes, Julie is here. She's a local artist who's going to be doing a Gallery 10 reception on March 20th. So she's here and she's going to show off a couple pieces of her work.
Good.
And then we're going to finish off with Cassie Brazil. She's the program coordinator for First Five. And they're going to be talking about the Dad and Me event that's going to be going on at the Ridge Road Garden Center.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be cute, especially First Five is a very, very good program.
Oh, yes.
And it's a necessity, and believe me, they just do such a great job. But anyway, I want to ask you, you all ready for Easter?
I don't think anyone's ever ready for Easter.
Yeah.
But, as ready as you're going to be.
Right. I guess that there's a big controversy now that that some of the schools have taken out the Easter bunny. They don't want, it's kind of like Santa Claus and all of that. We're getting to the point where it's personally, from my personal point of view, I find it absolutely absurd.
No,
we grew up with these.
As do I, except also remember I grew up in a fundamentalist Catholic elementary school. So
so
during this week for me would have been when I was a kid would have been the week where I had to go to church 6 days out of 7.
Yeah, that's very true. And the thing is that I think it's because of the bunny is kind of it's a cute little symbol, and of course the egg symbolizes new life, and which is all about the story of Easter. However, there is Roma Downey and her husband Mark Burnett did a series about the Bible, and I haven't been able to watch it.
I've been watching it sporadically.
Is it good?
I think it's good. I think they did very high production values. They definitely, I like the fact they do Old and New Testament.
Right.
It's very well acted, very well produced. I enjoy watching it if it's on.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna pick it up on DVD because I hear that it's a very well done.
Oh, believe me, with Sunday being the last episode in the season or in the series, you know that the History Channel is going to be doing marathons of it over the next week, just rerunning every episode 7 days a week.
Which they have been doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is very, very good. But the thing is that once when you sit down and watch one, you want to watch the whole thing all the way through.
Exactly.
And sometimes time doesn't permit. So I encourage everybody to either get the DVD, or if you can watch it or tape it, do so, because it's just magnificent the way that they interpret everything.
Well, I'm also just looking forward. It's going to be in a couple of weeks, but another TV series that I'm a huge fan of that I may have told you about is coming back for another season, and that's The Borgias.
Yes,
I love watching The
Yes,
Borgias, especially with Jeremy Irons in it.
Yes, what a fantastic actor. That's
yes.
another one that I want to get on DVD
Yes,
because
that
I
one's
know
fun.
he is just so superb in anything that he does, and it's such a great series. Well, it's
yes.
history, and
he
great.
just, especially with knowing what Pope Alexander, looking at the history
Right.
of Pope Alexander, with Jeremy Irons doing it, he just has that presence that you would need someone playing Alexander
Absolutely,
to have.
absolutely.
And double that up with that quintessential voice that Jeremy Irons has.
Right.
He just steals the show in every scene that he's in.
You know, he reminds me a lot of Anthony Hopkins. They can play a good guy and they can play a bad guy.
And actually, on the note of Hopkins, there's another series coming out soon. I believe it's going to premiere on Thursday, April 4th, that I'm very interested in, called Hannibal. They're doing where it's exploring Hannibal Lecter as a consultant for police departments.
Right. I have all three of the books. There was the
Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal.
And Hannibal, and really, really great books.
Oh, yes.
Very intense.
Oh, you know what you're in for when you start up on one of those.
And nobody could have played Hannibal like Anthony Hopkins.
No.
He still gives you the chills when you see him.
Exactly. Well, it's just he has one of the best character entrances when she's walking down the hallway, everyone's shouting, and he's just standing there. He's just standing there following her.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually one.
Just his voice when he says Clarice.
Yeah.
You go, oh my God.
Well, and Martha can tell you, I always joke around with Martha.
When you did that, right.
When I did that Halloween costume where my dad came dressed as the orderly and I was Hannibal Lecter in a straitjacket in a hand truck. And my dad wheeled me into the Halloween party.
Yeah, it scared the heck out of everybody, that's for sure.
All in good fun.
So, Alan, I want to talk a little bit about video games. A lot of them are getting a bad rap now. Okay,
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there that are really against video games or whatever, and you and I are basically on the same page. They're rated, and parents should not buy their teens something that is for adults only.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. It's just like a movie. If you had a 7, 8-year-old child or grandchild or nephew, would you allow them to go see an R-rated movie by themselves?
Right, absolutely not.
If you're not going to let them see an R-rated movie by themselves, you shouldn't let them play an M-rated game, or you shouldn't buy them an M-rated game.
Right.
And I've got a couple of slides ready, and I have one that I think kind of sums it up really, really well. And it's on the top, it has the movie ratings, and on the bottom, it's got the video game ratings. So if you look, a G-rated movie is the equivalent of an E-rated game. E is E for everybody. E10 is anybody 10 and up. T is for teen. M is for mature. AO is adult only.
Right.
A lot of places that actually sell video games, if you look under the age of 25 and you're going to buy an M-rated game, they will card you. So in many cases, the only way for someone who's way too young to have one of those games to get one is if they bring a parent with them and the parent is told, this is an M-rated game. It has A, B, C, D, and E in it. Are you sure you want to buy this for your child? And then the parent has to say, yes, I want to buy that game.
Because I know that a lot of the kids from Columbine and a few of the others, they have shown many times that a lot of these kids were loners and they were into the video games and this and that. And, the thing that we have to remember is not everybody that is into video games is got a deviant mind. No. I mean, some of these things kids just love to play.
One of the things that people have been telling me a lot over the last couple of weeks, at least people in my own family, is that if any person, if you or me, were to start playing any video game that had violence in it, it would turn us into a psychopath.
No.
Just by touching it. And my response to that is, if playing any violent video game would turn somebody violent overnight, then how come when there are millions of people playing the game Farmville on Facebook, we don't have millions of new farmers every day?
Right. Well, I grew up now, because I'm old enough to be your mother.
Yes.
I grew up, what do you mean, yes?
I'm agreeing with you.
I grew up watching the Three Stooges eat,
Yeah.
you know, and all of that.
And those are
and
classic.
that didn't make me turn around and want to poke somebody's
those
eyes,
are
because I
absolute
knew
classics.
if you do that, you're going to hurt
Exactly.
somebody.
When I was growing up, it was the late 80s, early 90s when the violent video game issue first came about, when
Right.
they released Mortal Kombat in arcades. And that's what ended up happening. They said, if you don't start regulating this more, we're going to. And that's when they started the video game rating system, and that is something that is done by the game industry. And they hold themselves to that standard.
I think what people have to remember, too, is that the media, especially the video games, especially the adult entertainment industry, is probably one of the multi-million billion dollar.
Games make more than films right now.
Absolutely.
And they have bigger budgets in many cases.
Right.
Actually, to transition into the next part, some of the favorites I'm playing, one of those big blockbusters I just beat last night, it's BioShock Infinite. I got a screenshot of it up there. Gorgeous game to look at. Huge investment on the part of the company. Was in development since 2009.
Wow.
So it just came out. Absolutely phenomenal game. It's a first-person science fiction shooter type game. It is rated M, that being said, so I would not recommend it for children.
Right.
I mean, there were parts in the game that I was having a hard time dealing with because it deals with some very interesting social issues as you're playing it. But that being said, it is probably one of the best stories that I've seen probably in the last 10 years.
Wow.
It was absolutely phenomenal.
Now, do you feel, I think that a lot of these games, because I mean, I'm not into them because it's way beyond me, but do you feel that a lot of these games carry a good message as well as
of course. I'm
teaching you,
absolutely.
don't do this?
I mean, you get to the end of BioShock, it's got an interesting message at the end of it. Especially in the case of BioShock, there's these crazy things that are going on around you, but at every instance, the player has a choice. Do I want to go one way or do I want to go this other way? And that's one of the things that's happened with the newer games. There's actually they call it a morality system. You have a choice while you're playing it. Do I want to go and attack a crowd of people, or do I want to avoid that confrontation? Do I want to do a mission this way, or do I want to do it the other way? It's a lot more open-ended in that sense.
Right. Now, do you think that the rating system is just about right on?
I do, because on every game, you've got a little sticker, probably about that big, right on the front of it, that has the one-letter rating.
Right.
But then if you look on the back of the game, where they have more pictures and a description, there's actually a little box about that big that says this game is rated T because it includes the following: violence, gun violence, tobacco use, alcohol use. An M-rated game, it would have blood and gore, high sexual content, high violent content.
But see, this is what I don't understand. A lot of times these kids are playing these games and it says, okay, it has alcohol use and people smoke and stuff. But sometimes their dad's sitting alongside them smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer.
And that boils down to the choice of the parent.
Right.
It's just like with a violent TV show that you don't want
So
your kids
I think what it is when we come down and everything is said and done, it's basically the situation. It's that what can your child handle, and don't buy them anything that is way over their head.
And actually, on that note, I have one picture at the very end of this. This is from a game that Mary and I love to play together every chance I get. That is just a screenshot of a game that I play. What do you think that game is rated?
I think it's for kids, 10.
That's rated M.
Yeah.
That's an M-rated game.
It is?
It's called Castle Crashers. It's an arcade-style game where those four little characters are running around, chopping each other up, and there's blood, gore, and violence in that.
I'll be darned.
That kind of shows my point. If you're going to buy a kid a game, you can't judge it just on face value.
Okay.
You need to do your research on it.
Right. And it does have a disclosure.
Exactly.
Disclaimer.
It has. Well, actually, that one is a downloadable game.
Okay.
So the way you would download that one, though, is you have to input a credit card number into the system.
Oh, okay.
But a kid would not have a credit card.
Right. Right.
So it just boils down, and if they did download that one, you also have an email address attached to the account.
Right.
So you set up a
So in
parent's
other
email
words,
account.
there is a very good
Yeah, there's a
check.
very good system of checks and balances with downloadable games, but it all boils down to one common factor, and that's parents making sure that they want their kids playing the games they want them to play.
Right, because some of them, they have some great games out there for kids.
Exactly.
It's a good teaching tool, and kids are into electronics, let's face
Exactly.
it. It's not like just
But-
TV like we had when we were kids. This is wonderful, so
Exactly.
please be responsible, and if you have any questions, you can call the station, and Ellen
Yes.
will answer them for you. We're going to take a short
Yes,
break.
going to a break, and then you're going to be talking to Dr. Rhoda.
I most certainly am.